Good morning, everyone. I am excited to be here with you today. I have a background in professional practice and as a lawyer, and alongside my legal work, I have been teaching polity and governance to the students preparing for competitive exams. I am passionate about making complex topics easy to understand and engaging. I believe in interactive learning where students actively participate and connect with the real world examples. In today's session, we will be exploring an overview of the Indian polity. By the end of this session, you will have a clear understanding what polity is all about. Before starting, I would like to inform you that this session will be bilingual in the English and in Hindi language. Well, starting with the overview of the Indian polity, the overview of the Indian polity could be understood under three dimensions. First is why, how, and what. The first, why it is important to understand Indian polity. There are several reasons that why we should study Indian polity, why it is important to study Indian polity. As far as students are concerned, it's crucial for them who are preparing for exams like Union Public Service Commission, state PSCs, and other competitive exams to study Indian polity as it contains a massive amount of questions, a large number of questions in the examination. Second is for understanding the governance, it helps citizens to understand how country is governed, how laws are made, and how policies are implemented. And the third is active citizenship, where the knowledge of the Indian polity enables citizens to participate effectively in the democratic processes and understand the political system, which helps individuals to make informed decisions and engage in meaningful discussions. Thus, there are main three reasons. First is competitive exams, second is understanding governance, third is active citizenship, which are the important reasons for understanding polity, for studying polity. Then, after the second approach, second dimension, that is how. How just simply denotes the approach that we are going to use to cover the syllabus of this Indian polity, and that includes first study material. What material a student should study? It includes NCERT books. Second is the Indian Polity by Lakshmikant. Polity by Lakshmikant. And there are some other online resources like government websites in which PIB, Press Information Bureau, and I will recommend you to go through the current affairs of the Vision IAS, which they provide yearly. Then, after the third dimension, that is what? What actually includes the syllabus, the whole syllabus of the Indian polity. I will write it down below. what? The first thing that one should study from the Indian polity is the constitutional framework. This constitutional framework includes the making of constitution, then after preamble, citizenship, union and its territories, fundamental rights, directive principles of state policy, fundamental duties. These are the subtopics under the main topic constitutional framework. Then after second is the system of government. In the system of government we study presidential form of government, then after parliamentary form of government, after that center state relations, then the third is union government. In union government we study about the president, we study about the prime minister, we study about council of ministers, we study about cabinet committees, parliament, parliamentary committees, parliamentary forms, Supreme Court, judicial review, judicial activism, and public interest litigation. Then after it is state government, in which we study about governor, chief minister, state council of ministers, state legislature, high court, tribunals, subordinate courts. After state government, next is local government, in which we study Panchayati Raj and municipalities. Then after it is union territories and scheduled and tribal areas. Then after it is constitutional bodies, which is one of the main and one of the important topics, in which we study Election Commission of India, Union Public Service Commission, State Public Service Commission, Finance Commission, Goods and Services Tax Council, National Commission for SCs, National Commission for STs, National Commission for backward classes, Special Officer for Linguistic Minorities, Comptroller and Auditor General of India, Attorney General of India, Advocate General of India. Then after we have some non-constitutional bodies as well, which include Niti Aayog, National Human Rights Commission, State Human Rights Commission, Central Information Commission, State Information Commission, Central Vigilance, Central Bureau of Investigation, Lokpal Lok Ayuktas, National Investigation Agency, National Disaster Management Authority. And there are other constitutional dimensions: cooperative societies, official language, public services, political parties, role of regional political parties. It comes under the political dynamics, elections, election laws, and election reformers, voting behavior, coalition government, anti-defection law, pressure groups, national integration, foreign policy. Well, this is actually the syllabus of the Indian polity that one should study, and we will be studying this, and it will take us at least some 25 classes. Within 25 classes, the whole of the Indian polity will be completed. Now, the first question, that is, what is polity? What this polity is all about? We simply say, for example, if there is a nation, India, इसका अपना एक सिस्टम ऑफ गवर्नमेंट है, इसकी अपनी एक फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट है. इन सिंपल वर्ड्स, पॉलिटी क्या है? पॉलिटी रेफर करती है किसी भी सिस्टम ऑफ गवर्नमेंट या फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट, किसी भी कंट्री, स्टेट या ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की. इन सिंपल वी कैन से polity refers to the form or system of government of a country or state or organization. Now, what it does, it encompasses the structure. First thing, it encompasses the structure, functions, process of governance, including relationships between different branches of government, institutions, and citizens. For example, now let's see what polity says. It says that किसी भी मुल्क का, किसी भी कंट्री का सिस्टम ऑफ गवर्नमेंट या फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट, उसके बरकस ये उस सिस्टम ऑफ गवर्नमेंट का स्ट्रक्चर हमें बताता है, उसकी फंक्शंस हमें बताता है, और साथ ही साथ प्रोसेस ऑफ गवर्नेंस क्या है उनका, वो भी हमें बताता है. और एक सिटीजन का इस स्ट्रक्चर के साथ क्या रिलेशन है, एक स्ट्रक्चर का खुद अपने गवर्नमेंट के इंस्टीट्यूशंस के साथ क्या रिलेशन है, वो चीज़ भी हमें ये बताता और सिखाता है. नाउ इफ़ वी विल गो to the definition, that what you should write, it is given here. Polity refers to a form or process of organized political governance. In simple terms, it is the structure or system of government, form or system of government of a country, organization, committee, state, which encompasses the structure and functions and the process of governance. Well, you can write this, or I may dictate you. Polity refers to the form or system of government of a country, state or organization, full stop. It encompasses the structure, functions, and the processes of governance, including the relationships between different branches of government, institutions, and citizens. Now, as you know, we are going to study Indian polity. It means that we are going to study the system of government of India, its structure, its functions, its process of governance. If we are going to study Indian polity, then first it is necessary to understand India. Well, the approach that I am going to use in this session will be a bit different, but I am sure that you will have a clear understanding that how we are going to do it. First, the approach that we are going to use, first we will understand this, what is this India, is this a state, is this a nation, what it is. After that, if it is a state or nation, then how this system of government works and where from this government derives its powers, and who actually is the supreme authority of the India. That will lead us to the constitution, Then after, we will be starting with the constitutional framework, and then we will be going as per the sequence that I already gave you in the mentioned list of syllabus. So, first question is whether India is a state or a nation. Is it a nation or state? As far as India is concerned, India is both a nation and a state. If we see, firstly, to understand this thing, how India is both nation and a state, can be understood only after knowing what is nation and what is state. अब अगर इस नेशन को हम पहले समझें तो उसके बाद आप डेफिनेशन भी लिखिएगा. अगर पहली चीज़ अगर हम नेशन को समझें, नेशन है क्या? हम कहते हैं कि जब एक ग्रुप ऑफ पीपल जिनकी कॉमन आइडेंटिटी हो, जिनका कॉमन कल्चर हो, जिनकी कॉमन हिस्ट्री हो, इन शॉर्ट a group of people having homogeneous factors, उनमें एक फीलिंग पैदा होती है. A feeling is built in them, that is we call sense of belongingness. कैसे? For example, मैं आपको बताऊंगा. If we Indians, we have same type of food, mostly. We have same history. We share the same land. We are diverse. India is diverse. I accept this thing that India has diversity. But in general, we have many of the homogeneous factors. Because of them, we feel like we belong to each other. And this sense of belongingness, this feeling of oneness, is actually considered as nation. For example, you write a definition first. A nation refers to a group of people sharing a common identity, culture, history, and sense of belongingness. This nation is actually a mental construct, and it does not exist in real life में nation जैसा कुछ है नहीं. ठीक है? It is just a mental construct. It is a psychological factor rather than a physical entity. In simple, this nation is nothing. It is just the feeling of oneness. When the people of the land, due to homogeneous factors, feel like they are one, feel that they have some belongingness, that is the thing what we call nation. उस चीज़ को हम nation बोलते हैं. And for sure, this feeling is because of the homogeneous factors like race, religion, caste, culture, history, identity, place of birth, food, language, any of the things. आप समझिए, for example, if we go to some foreign country and there we meet some Indian person, when we see him, we feel a sort of happiness. Why? It feels like that he is from the land where they have the behavior, culture, language, or the way of living that is same like me. And that gives us the feeling of belongingness. That gives us a feeling of attraction, feeling of oneness. So, in this nation, this unity that we have in India, it is unity through uniformity. We have uniformity in many of the things, in many of the aspects of the life. And this feeling, you should understand that this feeling is eternal. India is a nation with a diverse population, a rich cultural history, and a shared history, we can say as well. Instead of being so diverse, but we still have that feeling of oneness. ये इंसान तब समझ सकता है when we have a cricket match. That time it's like that I am Indian. That time there is no regionalism. Then the next concept is how it is a state. This is very important. You should pay heed to this. Now question is, what is a state? If we see what is a state, the definition of the state is a centralized political organization that imposes and enforces rules over a population within a territory. Now, we have 4 keywords here. First, state एक सेंट्रलाइज्ड पॉलिटिकल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, सेंट्रलाइज्ड पॉलिटिकल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जो इम्पोज करती है रूल्स, एनफोर्स करती है रूल्स, किस पे? पॉपुलेशन पे, विथ इन ए गिवन टेरिटरी. नाउ if we see that there are some elements of this state. First thing, this central political organization, which we call government. Then after, there is population. Then after, we have territory. There is one more element of the state. Here we can see imposes and enforces rules. This rules means the law. Okay. So it means this state has sovereignty also. So these are the elements of the state. Now, what is this government? Government is the political system by which a country or a community or a state is administered or regulated. In simple words, we can say that a government is a political system by which a country or community is administered or regulated, or we can say government is a cluster of multiple organizations and institutions where institutions make policy and organizations implement policy. So, if we see, government has 3 dimensions, or we can say it is categorized under 3 things. First, it has institutions which make policy, it has organizations which implement policy. Then after, we have some elected people in it, that are, for example, prime minister, president, and we have supreme law, that is constitution. Thus, this is one of the element of the state. Second is the population. But before population, if we see, the definition is of the state is a centralized political organization which imposes and enforces rules over a population within a territory, and government is the political system of a country, that how by which the country is administered or regulated. Well, there is a relation between this state and this government. If we see, state is a bigger element and this government is the agent of this state. So this is the difference. If we see that state is something else and government is something else, as I said that government is the agent of the state. How they are different? If we see, state has inherent powers from the constitution, obviously, but the government has the derived powers from the state. State has no opposition, state is sovereign. However, the government has opposition, no opposition and is sovereign. However, the government has opposition and we can see, however, one thing here is it is important to mention that government is equal to state only in times of emergency. Remember this thing. We can say, if we will differentiate these two, state versus government, we say state is a bigger element and the government is a smaller element. State is sovereign, however the government has derived powers. State is natural and this is not natural. State is invisible and abstract, however the government is visible and concrete. State has original powers, however government has delegated powers. This state is more or less permanent, however this government is always temporary. So इससे हमें क्या समझ आता है? That state is a self-governing entity. Remember this thing. इसका निचोड़ ये है that state is a self-governing entity. We can sometimes use it with the word country interchangeably. And this state believes unity and diversity. This state is external and has unity by law. In nation, we have seen that there is the unity through uniformity due to homogeneous factors. But in state, we have unity by law. कि भाई तमीज से रहो, कानून के दायरे में रहो. तुम चाहो न चाहो, if you have differences of the language, if you have differences of the culture, if you have differences in the behavior, history, in whatsoever, religion, race, creed, caste, whatsoever differences are there, but still it is by the law the unity that is prevailing currently in the state. You are bound for this unity. Thus, we simply say when we use term nation, there we say that we have unity by unity through uniformity, and in state we have unity by law. The next element of the state, the third element of the state, is population. Well, within the territory, within a nation, within a state, there is the population as well. However, this population is either citizens or non-citizens. Now, who is this citizen? We say that a citizen is a person having all political, civil, social, cultural, economical rights. This population is divided into two, citizens and non-citizen. A citizen is one who is entitled to all rights, whether political, social, economical, etc. However, a citizen is the one who has either limited rights or restricted rights. There is the difference in these two. Now, for whom limited rights are and for whom restricted rights are, it's a matter of discussion. Actually, this term non-citizen is categorized, or we can say non-citizens are also known as foreigners, aliens, migrants, and refugees. I told you that non-citizens have either what? Limited rights or have restricted rights. Now, if we see who is this alien, foreigner, you know that any person belonging to some other nation is known as foreigner. Now, who is this alien? It's not one who has come from the space. No, alien, I will tell you. Aliens are also of two types. Listen. One is friendly alien and other is enemy alien. Now, what is the difference? This difference wholly and solely depends upon the relation of that person. No, sorry. This depends upon the relation of this country with the country of that alien. For example के तौर पे मैं आपको समझाता हूँ that if there is person A, he belongs to Pakistan, and there is person B who belongs to Israel. Now, if both have visited to India, if the relation of the India with the Pakistan is good or bad, let's suppose it's always bad. So, if the relation of the India with the Pakistan is bad, then this person who is in India is assumed as enemy alien. And if the relation of India with the Israel is good, then this person is considered as friendly alien. So here it is upon the relation of this country with the country of the visitor that what he will be called, either the friendly alien or the enemy alien. The next is, now however, there is one thing to mention, that if he is a friendly alien, then he has limited rights. And if he is an enemy alien, he has restricted rights. Next is migrants. Migrants are of two types as well: legal migrants and illegal migrants. Here the relation of the countries doesn't matter. What matters here, that if he has the proper documents, if he has the legal travel way, if he has the legal document, proper document, legal travel way, he is assumed as legal migrant and has limited rights. Now, if he is illegal, it means he has not proper document, he acquired an illegal way to enter the country and thus becoming an illegal migrant and has restricted rights. Same is with the refugees. Refugees are either legal or illegal. Refugees are also called as asylum seekers. See, If a refugee needs to ask permission first from the government. If he is permitted, then he is a legal refugee. If permitted, then he is a legal refugee. If not permitted, then he becomes a illegal refugee. Same. If he is legal, he has limited rights. If he is illegal, he has restricted rights. Well, this citizenship is a right to enjoy the rights conferred by the state or government. Thus, citizens have all the rights. However, these non-citizens, what type of rights they will have depends upon what in which category they are. Then we have the last element, that is sovereign. Well, first thing that I will tell you, there is difference between sovereign and independence. If we see sovereign on one side and independence on another side, we say a state is sovereign. A sovereign state can take all its internal as well as external decisions on its own. A sovereign state is one which can take all its internal as well as external decisions on its own. A sovereign can decide its foreign policy. However, an independent state, an independent country can only take its internal decisions but can't decide its foreign policy on its own. For example, we have Hong Kong. They can only decide their internal affairs, not the external. And India, being the sovereign, can take its internal as well as external affairs. Then after we have another element that we call territory. Well, this territory is a geographical term. It's actually a geographical term which includes, this territory includes land, coastal lines, coastal area. This also includes the airspace of that country and the overseas territory. Overseas territory. That overseas territory, that every place where authority of government exists, or we can say that the Indian government, wherever Indian government has its authority, that is included into overseas territory, outside India, wherever it has the authority. So this territory is nothing, it is just a geographical term including the land, coastal, airspace and the overseas territory. So now the question is this sovereignty an absolute concept? First thing, can the territory of India that India has presently, except this, can ever India acquire any other territory? It is the discussion that we will be doing under the Article 1 of the Constitution, which says Union and its territories, which is the lecture number 2nd. See you.